Look, man, I've got to start with Lookman. Ademola Lookman has been at the center of controversies for the past about a week now after missing that penalty against Club Brugge. I did a video about it, and there were some people who didn't really agree with my position on it, and they thought I was overreacting. And Gasperini came out for purpose of clarity. He came out to say that Lookman was the worst penalty taker he has ever seen in his life, and he kind of like shifted the blame of them being knocked out of the Champions League, to Lookman. And we didn't take that lightly as Africans because he's our star boy, and we've got to protect him, right?
Yeah, he's
So
our African best player.
yeah, but after that, Lookman came out and he made a statement too, of him not being happy about it and being heartbroken. But days passed, Atlanta had the next game. They won 5-0 and Lookman scored 2 goals. But I'll be asking this question to you. What Gasperini said, did we take it out of context? That's number one. And number two, Lookman responding, was it necessary? Anybody can start from here.
Well, first off, I think you can say when you look at it from a general view, right? Whenever a manager comes out to throw any of his players under the bus, you'd know that maybe they've already had an underlying issue, or the manager has been saying something that hasn't been working out for that player, right? But most times, we all know that most managers in the modern era would never throw the players under the bus. They always shield the players. They'll take the blame, and you do it behind closed doors. So personally, I think we didn't take it out of context because as a manager, what he should have done, he should have complained to Lookman behind closed doors, and he should have been, maybe he was angry, right? For Lookman taking the penalty and not Retegu. But he also shouldn't have thrown Lookman under the bus, to the media, to the wolves to attack him because we all know Lookman already had a history with a missed penalty at Fulham, which actually cost them, the spot in the Premier League that season. They got relegated, and he had to struggle to come out of that. Personally, I feel he was really hurt. And as a footballer, it's always good, for you to come out and clear the air, but not in a very disrespectful manner. And if you look at the way Lookman approached the situation, it was very, it was there was nowhere he disrespected his manager. He only spoke about his own feelings, about being hurt, and I feel like he took his pain and turned it into the gain of the team. It also shows you, that he's a team player. He's out there to make sure that the team can continue winning trophies, and that's what he's been doing.
All right, now to you, Mr. Fairplay. The question will be a little bit different. Firstly, like I asked before, did we overreact? Also, was Lookman responding necessary? But lastly, is there a racism issue? Don't worry. Is there a racism issue in this?
First of all, I don't think we overreacted in any way. Like Andy said, this is African Footballer of the Year, and you do not by any means come out in the media to disrespect him in that manner. I mean, it's one thing for you as a manager to be angry, and then you say, this player shouldn't have taken the penalty since he is not the designated penalty taker, and then you just stop. That's a different thing entirely. But coming out to say he is one of the worst penalty takers you have ever seen, that even his record in training is not good. That's too much. That's too much. He went too far. And so whatever reaction that particular incident got was deserved because everywhere in the world the reaction was just crazy. I mean, even
Even for
sites
people that
that
were not
deal
black,
statistics
sorry. Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
You understand exactly. Even I mean, a lot of football sites who were not necessarily affiliated to any club came out with statistics to show that that particular statement was really, really horrible.
False.
He has taken penalties for Atlanta. He has scored lots of penalties. That was the second miss. And then you have another player, one of the designated penalty takers, has missed two penalties in that same team. In that same team, and he missed
In less
penalty
than a month.
two
In
weeks
less than
ago.
a month.
And
Yeah.
what this manager said was that the player had a good game. He wished the player has. And then Lookman, who came from the bench, changed the game. That game was already dead and buried. Lookman came and somehow brought back life into this game by scoring a goal. Apart from scoring a goal, the other designated penalty taker wanted him to take because when you come with that kind of momentum, there's always that belief that if there's anybody that's going to bring us back to this game, is this player, and that's why they thought, okay, let Lookman take it. And for them to have asked Lookman to take it because they trust him. So for the manager to have done that, that was really, really horrible. So we didn't overreact. And then Lookman on his own part, what he did was respond professionally. He showed class in his response. He didn't come out um dragging the manager, saying unnecessary, derogatory words or so. He just
Yeah.
came out, dropped what I thought was pure class by responding that this is disrespectful and this is very hot for him with what he has done with Atlanta, how hardworking he's been with them. Also talked about how amazing the fans have been in all of that. So he responded. And then on the field of play, a few days later, he showed the class that he really is. Scored two brilliant goals. He was man of the match. And that's how you respond as a professional player. And then in the aspect of color, you can never completely overlook issues like this. But probably because you have talked about this in the past, I think you should just let that go. But you can never rule out anything because these guys sometimes just do these things and without necessarily coming out to tell you it's about a thing of color, but you will just look at it from it and know that there's something in.
All right, no problem. Still in the line of an African player, and I'll use the topic disrespect. Yeah. Recently, a few days ago, Jamie Carragher, a former Liverpool player, was speaking about Mo Salah and his chances of winning the Ballon d'Or, and he said Salah might not win it because Salah plays for Egypt, and the AFCON is not a major tournament. Yeah, I'm not quoting him verbatim, but he said something in that line. And during in that same video, we had Michael Richards and Daniel Sturridge who came out to say no. Point of correction: the AFCON is a major tournament, just like the way you have the Copa America, the Euros, and the rest. But Carragher just scoffed like come on. And then it was like Egypt will never win the World Cup, would they? So Africans now are not happy about this. We've seen ex-players like what's his name, the former Egypt captain who played for Aston Villa. He has come out to call Carragher out. A lot of reactions have come out. But this same situation happened some 2 years ago when Jurgen Klopp was speaking about the competition and he called it a little tournament, which some people said it was sarcasm, but some didn't take it lightly. So are we as Africans overreacting? Are we being too sensitive about this?
I think that's disrespectful to even ask that question because first off, we know that the AFCON, is a major tournament. And first off, when we go into statistics, right? When you're playing to qualify for the AFCONs, we don't see matches where people win 6-0 or 7-0. But we do see that with the European competition whenever they're playing to qualify for it. Do you understand? The AFCON teams, we know how difficult it is to play in Africa with the weather, first of all, being extremely hot. Then some of the players are coming from Europe, where we have a different climate, and they come and they perform in these same tournaments, and they have to play the best football. And we've all seen that if we can all testify that the last AFCON was probably one of the most entertaining tournaments that we've seen in recent times. So for Carragher to come out and say that, first off, with all due respect, I personally don't take Carragher's footballing take seriously because I honestly think he was one of the worst footballers that played, scoring about 8 own goals, and he has no rights to come out and criticize players the way he has been doing it recently.
Ooh.
Especially when it comes to Mo Salah. Yeah, Mo Salah has literally been the best player in the Premier League. But every day, every weekend, you see Carragher comes out to say something negative about Mo Salah. When he said something about his contract situation, Carragher was the first person again who came out to openly criticize him. So it has always been like that. And I think his footballing takes, like I said, is not of the highest level. He's just fortunate to be an ex-footballer that happens to be, in a place where he can just dish out wherever comes to his mind. I'll give an example. We all saw that Haaland got injured before the game against Real Madrid, right? But Carragher said on national television that Haaland decided not to play because he saw that Rudiger was fit. I know that it can be a joke, right? But if you look at the in the context of how he said it, he wasn't joking. So when you look at his footballing takes, his football takes, you'd understand that when it comes to Jamie Carragher, I'm sorry, but he really doesn't really understand football to the highest level. So that was a disrespectful statement, in my opinion. And secondly, I will always stand and say that the AFCON is on the same ground and the same level as the Euros. It's on the same ground and the same level as the Copa America too.
All right, quickly, for you to be a Madrid fan and you didn't find that funny, that shows that Jamie Carragher doesn't have a career as a comedian. And who knows? I would have said his career as a comedian would have been better than his football career. But unfortunately,
Obviously, but he
he'll
will
be,
definitely suck at that too.
uh, um, Mr. Fairplay. Now let's talk about this. So I know you don't like talking about this issue because it's a cliche for you. You don't like talking about it. But what do we as Africans, or first of all, do we have to do anything to earn some level of respect? Are we even supposed to do anything to earn this respect? Because it seems like a lot of them from Europe and the rest of the world, they look down on our football. So is there something we can do better to earn this respect?
Yeah, clearly, I'll use a family for an example here. You know, as a family, when you put your house in order, right, uh, outsiders will give you respect. But at the same time, whatever issues I have with my family, I'll sort it out with my family. You don't dare come into my family to try to poke any of us, because irrespective of the difficulty that we're having, we will keep that aside, come together as a family and give it to you just the way you want. You understand? So yeah, we have issues with African football. Yeah, we have some administrative issues here and there. But mention one FA or mention one organization out there that doesn't have issues as well, right? So what some of these other organizations have above us might just be publicity and all of that. Like Andy rightly said, the Asians have their own competition. The South Americans have their Copa America. The Europeans have their own. And we have our own AFCON. And the last AFCON was one of the most entertaining football tournaments that was. The referees of that same competition gave us what we've never seen even in European football.
Yeah,
This same VAR that we've been talking about for
complaining.
years.
Did an excellent job.
These guys give us what even the European referees themselves will be amazed to see. So that's how good the last actor is. I mean, so for a player like Carragher, I'm not surprised that Carragher, he never had any significant career internationally. I mean, how many
Never won the
international
Premier
games did he
League.
even play? And the ones he
Yeah.
played, what did he do? He has not achieved anything from the international level. So I'm not surprised that he had to come to that level. You know, Carragher is, I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
Andy was saying, no disrespect. I don't. I mean, guys. Oh God.
You know what? At this point in time, I'll tell the DJ to please play Odumodu Black. Pity this boy. Pity Carragher. Now, quickly, let's talk about this. Let's leave Carragher aside. Carragher, thank you very much for trending again, because you seem to know how to spark reactions from people. You're doing a good job at it, and hopefully, it takes you to the right path. You get what you sow. You reap what you sow, as they say. I want to talk about something quite different, but it's still in the light of football. Now, I'm saying this because of the Arsenal fan we've got here. Of course, Arsenal are very short in the attack. They've got very few players. And in the last game, we saw Nwaneri, come out. I don't know if it's an injury or just cramp. But we have a rule in the Premier League that says if you are a player on loan, you cannot face your parent club. But that same rule is different in other leagues, like the La Liga. And I think even in the Champions League. We've seen in the past when Morata was a Real Madrid player, he went to Juve, I think, and he scored a goal that even knocked Madrid out. We've seen, there's a guy called, was it Sandro or so from Barcelona?
Yeah.
Barcelona was his parent club. Whilst on loan, he scored the goal to deny Barcelona the league.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying this now because Sterling, in the coming days, will be playing, Arsenal will be playing against Chelsea, and Sterling won't be able to play in that game. So that leads me to ask, should the Premier League try to be more flexible with their rules and allow players on loan play for their parent clubs? Or do you prefer the way it is, where players on loan can't play against their parent clubs? Mr. Fairplay.
Yeah, very, very, very tricky. Very, very tricky question. Like you say, the Premier League rule in terms of loan is very different. In other European leagues and even in the Champions League, we see players on loan play against their parent club. Just a few weeks ago, we saw Tammy Abraham playing against AS Roma, scored two goals against Roma, and knocked them out.
Is he on loan?
Yeah, he's on loan. He's on loan. Yeah,
he's never going back.
We also saw Joao Felix, who was on loan at Barcelona from Atletico Madrid, playing against Atletico Madrid, scored a goal and even celebrated. Like,
yeah.
So it's entertaining, but in the Premier League, you can't play against your parent club, which is not a problem because, like I said, Arsenal has shots in the attack, and you have a game against Chelsea, and Sterling literally play against. So it's crazy. I think there should be a bit flexible because this is football. It's part of entertainment. Playing against your parent club, you'll be motivated, because maybe that club. The reason why you're on loan is because of your surplus requirement. So you want that opportunity to show them what you can do. But unfortunately, you can't. So it's terrible. Arsenal already in a very bad side. And then you are having a player who is not even too good. But the player you want to manage can't even play against it. Who knows? Maybe that would have been the game where he'll be
more motivated. And change the game single-handedly.
You understand? But unfortunately, this is what it is. I feel like the English Premier League should be a bit flexible. Allow players to just play. You send them on loan. They should be able to play against their own parents.
All right, for you, Handy, now, take it from this angle. Do you think it encourages match fixing?
I don't think so. Because personally, you cannot tell me that Morata, had any plans with any match fixing to knock out Real Madrid. But immediately he did that, we were encouraged to bring him back. And in the next season, which was the 15-16 season, even though he was a bench player, he scored 16 goals in La Liga from the bench. And we won the Champions League that year. So I think it is a good thing, when you can actually just let the players play football. It shouldn't be that personal playing against your parent club. Actually, that's an opportunity to show your parent club that, hey, next season, I should be in contention, for you guys to maybe include me in the team because I'm actually good enough. So I don't think it actually encourages match fixing. I think, it's a good thing to be flexible and let players just play football.
Well, for me, I think players should not play against their parent clubs. I think there's a lot of emotions attached to it. Declan Rice is not even on loan from West Ham, but whenever he plays against West Ham, he seems to be emotional. So imagine if he was actually on loan, if you know what I mean. But anyhow, guys, thank you so much for today. We've spoken about these beautiful issues in football. For Carragher, hopefully he comes out to apologize. I don't know. If he doesn't, no problem. That's his cup of tea. But for me, I'm going to apologize big time because this is not my real voice, guys. It's not my real voice, okay? I'm actually a bit under the weather right now. And thank you so much for giving me the privilege to still, host this because I can't do without it. I think it's Arsenal, though. Arsenal, they give me this cough. Arsenal people.
So you've admitted that you're an Arsenal fan?
No, I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'm an Arsenal supporter. There's a difference.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, guys.
I see.
Thank you so much. My name is Sasa P, and I've got Handy and Eval, aka Mr. Fairplay. Thank you for joining us. Please
It was a
like,
pleasure.
share, subscribe, be a part of the family. We'll see you next time.